What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am going to share a game with you that took me completely by surprise, and I literally just beat this game in like 5 days. 22 hours, 30 minutes were put into this, and I enjoyed every single one of them. I want to break down what The Outer Worlds is, why you need to play it if you're a fan of RPGs, and why for me this is definitely my RPG game of the year, hands down. First, let's start with the DNA of this game. What makes this a good RPG? What's the pedigree? Why should we trust it? Why should we spend our hard-earned money on this game? And truth be told, I didn't spend a penny on this. If you guys have Xbox Game Pass, which is still the best service in gaming, it's the best service in gaming. It's like Netflix for gaming if you have it. For those of you that don't know, Xbox Game Pass, I want to say it's like 10 bucks a month. They leave you an entire catalog of games you can play for free, and this was one of them. And I'm so glad it was, because I never would have discovered it if I would not have just downloaded it and given it a try. Moment of silence for how dope my dude looks. Look at him. What makes this game good is the DNA behind it. This game is developed by Obsidian, which is comprised of former members of Bethesda Studios. If you guys know Bethesda, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, basically any RPG worth playing, they develop. So what's cool about Obsidian is they actually developed two of my favorite games. One of those games being Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, one of the most underrated Star Wars games out there. Knights of the Old Republic, the original, tends to get all the glory, but Knights of the Old Republic 2, incredible RPG. And then after completing that, I think they did a few other games, but their next big notable RPG was Fallout New Vegas. Now, that game has mixed reviews from critics. I personally loved it. I thought it was amazing. The biggest problem with it was all the glitchiness. I think they had to rush it out pretty quick, but amazing game. So if you liked either one of those games, more specifically Fallout New Vegas, you are going to absolutely love this game. All the same principles apply. You got your choices, different branching story outcomes. It's kind of like reading a choose your own adventure. When I was a kid, I used to read those Goosebumps books that were like, you get to the choice and you'd have to, all right, flip to page 27 if you jump down the Monster Lagoon pit, right? And then everything would change. That is how this game is. Every choice you make affects the story and can drastically change your outcome. I want to say there's something like 10 different endings in this, like drastic changes and a bunch of minor little changes, and you can have over like 100 endings or something like that. And if we break down the story, basically you start as a colonist that was frozen on board a ship. Apparently everybody evacuated Earth a while back and they spread out into the stars, look up at the sky, and they were trying to seed life on other planets. Apparently though, the ship we were on disappeared and it was gone for 50 years and then somehow reappeared, and you were the only person that was revived off of it by a doctor, or I should say scientist, something. He's good with tools. When he thaws you out of deep sleep, you develop these slow motion powers. I'll show you guys here in a second, but you were teaming up with this scientist, and basically your job is to resurrect the rest of the people on this ship. But the world, as you know, it has changed a lot. It's been 50 years, so you have corporations vying for control of planets. The people are really downtrodden and pushed down, and it's up to you to go to these planets where all this bad stuff is happening, and you got to make a choice. Do you help the big corporation? Do you line your pockets with money? Do you fight the good fight, take no monetary reward, but you leave the planet in a better position? Literally, some of these choices are so drastic, you get to that point and you're like, you literally don't know what to choose. And they did a great job in this game of making it to where like it's not just clearly a good choice or a bad choice, like good versus evil. It's like there's benefits to both and you can see both sides. And I found myself a lot of the time in this game getting to a point where like the big corporate guy kind of made sense. Like you wanted to help the people. If you help them, they'll be fed for a month, but after that we can't keep this going and everybody's gonna starve. So you play in the short game and the long game, stuff that really made you think. But I played through this game basically as a good guy, I would say, and I'm really debating playing through again as a bad guy, because some of the choices and some of the ways the story would have been insane. But without spoiling anything, this game is incredible. Unlike other RPGs, this doesn't have just one big world. It's split into planets. So you got your ship here. This is our ship, ironically named the Unreliable. And this game has an amazing sense of humor. That same sense of humor you get from the Fallout games, like that tongue-in-cheek, futuristic-y sense of humor. This has the exact same thing, which I love. This literally feels like exactly like a Fallout game, but it's just in a different world, a different IP, different people, different planets, different lore. And I would say one complaint I do have with this game is the loading screens are a little long. Fast traveling a lot. It's like fast travel here, do your thing, loading screen for a while, fast travel here, loading screen for a while. That was the only thing I would say that I would even have a complaint about. Not that that's a big complaint, but I try to be open and honest in these reviews. So this is your ship where you travel to all the different planets. This AI right here is so funny. So basically, this ain't really a spoiler. It's just kind of her character. I won't get into the crazy details, but like this was basically someone else's ship. You end up, I don't want to say stealing it. You'll have to play the game to find out exactly how it happens, but she becomes your new AI like that runs the ship. But the thing is that AI aren't supposed to exist, but she's clearly intelligent. So the entire time you're talking to her, you're trying to like figure out if she's an AI or not. And she keeps like saying AI things, but then like she doesn't want you to know she's an AI. It's funny. You almost have to play it. So if we look here at all the different planets, this is basically the universe. You got like space stations, you got different planets you can fly to and explore and check out. Now keep in mind, it took me 22 and a half hours to beat this game. My save point right here, I'm only 18 hours and 30 minutes in. I had to go backwards because my last save, I was like at a point of no return in the game. So that's why you see some of these locked. Each planet is totally unique, and I loved the exploration side of it. We'll just fly to Monarch. And as you go through the game, unlike some of the Fallout games, I mean, the Fallout games you could have companions in, but this one is you can have 2 at a time, which is pretty cool. And they each have their own stories. You can deck them out in armor. And where I was at in the game, I actually had a few other companions here, but these are the only 3 I have at this point in time. So let's continue. The plasma cutter slices, dices, cauterizes. I love it. And here we are at Stellar Bay, another planet. And if you look, this is drastically different than the last planet we were on. And these graphics and the way they stylize everything, it's like a futuristic, like 1950s, if that makes sense. It's like futuristic, but it's like everything's kind of got like an old vibe to it, like in the same vein as Fallout, really, which I do love. All right, let's have a conversation. So here we are in a conversation, right? He says, don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You were new here, right? My favorite part is all the different dialogue options. Like, whatever, I'm not here for chit chat. You can kind of be a dick. Pretty cool stuff. And we also got a quest from him, which is a big thing where you want to like talk to everybody. I would say I did a good amount of the side quests and enjoyed all of them. Lots of good story here. But like Fallout or any good RPG, there are wild areas where you're going to fight stuff, progress the storyline, go out questing. Then there's areas like this city where you can go see the vendors, upgrade your weapons, buy new armor, things of that nature. Overall, just what you would expect from an RPG. So now we're actually heading out into the wildlands here. I want to give you guys a view of this combat. This combat is a little different than the Fallout games. You don't have a VAT system. You have a time slowdown system. Think like Max Payne. Lots of weapon variety, melee, ranged weapons, plasma weapons, all sorts of weapons. And I would say it's more like Borderlands. So if we take this guy here, all right, I'm gonna put it into slow-mo. All right, so this is like your VAT system. Light him up, right? Done. Okay, got some actual humans here. See what we got. Boom. Got him. Slow-mo. Bow, 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 bow. Now, I'm very over-leveled, so I'm just tearing these guys to shreds. Oh, there's a lot of people here. Let's rush in. Boom. Ah, nice. And you can deck your weapons out. Like that dude just got shocked to death. And I put some mods on my weapon that makes it shoot like electricity. Oh, we got a big robot. All right. Can we take him down? Oh. Oh. He's coming at me. He's coming at me. Got him. What do we hit? What you doing? Get out of here. And your companions are also beastie too. Come on, boys. Get in there. Taking them out. All the enemies defeated. And as you can see, it's very Borderlands-like in the combat. I don't know if I like the slow motion better than I like the VAT system from Fallout, but they both kind of work. And to be honest, you're not really playing these games for the combat, although I do enjoy it. You play it more for the story, the progression, the character customization, which speaking of that, this is my character right here. And this is the character screen. And as you can see, when it comes to customization, there's quite a bit of options. So I can go over to skills. And for me, I did 0 melee. Wasn't a fan. I don't really do melee in these games. I know when I play like Elder Scrolls or Fallout, I'm more of a gun guy, not really a melee guy. Skyrim, I'm more of a wizard, a mage or whatever. But you can see like ranged, I dumped all these points into range, and as you go, you can unlock like, for instance, long guns, right? You put 20 points in it. You have tactical time dilation, location hit effects. So when you go into slow-mo, you can have like critical hit areas appear on the person. You hit them, boom, more damage. Just cool stuff like that. And I also tend in these games, this is what I love to do. You can let me know what you like to do. But when I play a game like this, like I said, I'm more into the story, which is what I love, right? So like I go into my persuade, my lie, and my intimidate, which these give you the craziest options in combat. If you have this high enough, you can get to points, which I did in this game, where like there's a crazy boss battle, end of the level. You're going to take this guy out. You're going to get control of the city, or he's going to send a whole army after you, whatever. And he'll ask you a question. And if your skills in this are high enough, you can persuade him to like not do it and become good, or you can persuade him to just give the people what they want. And that's a good feeling. Like as much as I do love fighting, it's a good feeling to be like, oh man, I just talked that guy into something. I love it. There's also some companion customization too. Not as much as you, but you can give them different weapons, different armor. They do have some perks, but not a ton. And you can actually set their behaviors, which this is what I like. Like I can keep them at a far distance, prioritizing range weapons, make them aggressive, cool stuff like that. So in summary, if you have played a Fallout game before and you enjoyed it, or you have played the Elder Scrolls games and you enjoy them, then this game is basically just more of that. I don't want to say that it's like a copycat game, although it feels like it at times, because these are people that did work on the originals, right? But rest assured, if you enjoyed those, you like good story, you like a loot shooter, you like branching dialogue options, you like different choices, different endings, lots of replayability, then this game is great, especially if you got Game Pass and it's free. In a world where Fallout 4, for me at least, was a pretty big disappointment. I loved Fallout 3, I loved New Vegas, but Fallout 4 was just kind of meh. I'll admit I didn't end up beating it, but I just remember I got like 3 or 4 hours in and it just was not clicking for me. So a game like this is a breath of fresh air. And also, I'm a busy dude. I got a lot going on. The fact that I can beat this game in 22.5 hours instead of putting 70, 80 hours into a game, because let's admit it, man, some of us just simply do not have the time to invest that much of a grind into one game. I want to play a lot of games. I want to be able to get in, knock a game out, move on to the next one, and just keep it pushing, right? And if I'm playing a game for 70, 80 hours, whoo, That's a lot. So this gives you that entire experience that you want from like a Fallout game or an RPG, but in a fairly quick fashion, which I'm personally a big fan of. If I'm playing a game, I think that's like the perfect length I want it to be. And in my opinion, I think that Bethesda should be a little worried, man. This is a dang good RPG. Up to this point, no one has really been able to do RPGs on the same level of Bethesda. The Fallout series, Elder Scrolls, those are amazing games, loved by the community. I mean, Skyrim, look at the legs on Skyrim. That game came out 7 years ago, like a long time, and people still play it, people still mod it, still a beloved game. Fallout 4, as much as I didn't like it, there's people out there that love it. These games have a cult-like following, and they have been the only game developer that has really had that RPG seal of approval across all these generations, across all these consoles, and across these games. So now there's a new player on the block in the Outer Worlds, and Microsoft actually just bought this studio, so the next games might even be Xbox exclusive, which we'll see about that. As of now, this game is available on all platforms. Definitely worth playing. Yeah, man, I'm excited. There's just more RPG options. Sometimes I don't want to play a multiplayer game. Sometimes I just want to go in, I want to like close all my blinds, turn all the lights off, and I just want to play a game where I can just get sucked into the story. I can get sucked into all these characters, the worlds, go exploring. That's like my ideal gameplay right there most of the time. So the more of these types of games that come out, we all win when that happens. So I'm hoping this makes Bethesda step up to the plate a little bit and actually put a lot of effort into these new games, especially with the Fallout 76 debacle going on right now. I don't know if you guys are up to date on that, but there's a lot going on. You can Google it, you'll see people aren't very happy. So overall, if I had to put a score on this game, I would give this game an 8.2. I enjoyed the crap out of what I played, but if I'm looking at it as a reviewer, I do got to knock a couple points for some things. One is that the outfits are pretty terrible. My people look all right now, but it took a lot of time to get them to this point. There's not a lot of customization when it comes to your outfits. Like everybody kind of just looks the same, and you tend to get like the same helmets and the same armor pieces over and over again, and there wasn't really any one place you could go where you're like, I want to really pimp out my character and make them look dope. It just was not happening. 2, the loading screens are a little long, and 3, not that it was a problem for me, but I could say the length of this game, given it is full price and a big open world RPG, might be a deterrent to some people. But overall, I did really enjoy this game and had some fun. Will I go back and will I play it again? There's a lot out right now, man. I still gotta play Death Stranding. I'm in the middle of Pokemon Sword right now, but it may be one of those, let the holidays die down, catch up on my back catalog. I might go back and play through it again for some of the dark choices, because there's literally a point in this game, without spoiling anything, where like you've been working for one person the entire time, and then you get the option to completely switch sides, and apparently the whole game changes. So maybe worth it down the road, but as of right now, I'm glad I played it. 22.5 hours well spent. I think if you played it, you'd really enjoy it too. If you've played this game and you have thoughts on it, comment down below. Always love hearing you guys' thoughts. The next video I do, I want to try to have Pokemon Sword completely beaten. I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts and opinions on that game as it relates to other games in the series, and what I think is everybody mad about the right things right now? As you know, everybody's always mad, but the complaints people have about the game, do any of those have merit? What do I think? Am I enjoying it? Whatever. So that's the next video. Be on the lookout for that. I'm actually filming this on Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving, happy Black Friday to those of you that are watching. We have crazy sales going on finalbossperformance.com, and Final Boss Athletics just dropped, so I'll put links in the description for both of those. Make sure you check them out if you want yourself some sweet swag, you want some sweet supplements, whatever. And appreciate you guys as always for watching. Smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and leave me a comment down below. Anything you want to leave, I love reading them. Thank you guys as always for watching. I will see y'all at the next video. See you guys.